Okay, this topic is always relevant to anyone and everyone, those who are in a relationship, before a relationship, after a relationship, and before the next one, in order to have it right. So the topic in general is love. What is love? There are many reasons to speak about it. One of them is the crisis that we have in the Western society around this general notion. Let's start from the fact that a normal person need love in order to feel good. A normal kid will grow normal and balanced with their personalities and emotions if they will get love when they grew up. And actually every human being in any age need two things. There are two aspects of love. To be loved and to be able to love others. And of course, when we talk about love, in particular, we're talking about in relationship. But we have to know that we have a general mitzvah in the Torah. One of the 613 commandments that we have as Jews is ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, it's a mitzvah in the Torah by itself. So it's related to anyone, not just between husband and wife, or any Jew. This is the meaning of the word l'reacha, by the way. Ve'ahavta l'reacha, l'reacha is not your friend, because what's the meaning of this? You know what, I want to analyze the entire thing, but I'll ask few questions. The verse in the Torah is ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Let's go to it. This is a verse in Leviticus 7, Vayikra Perek Yutet, Pasuk Yudchet. So those are the words. Actually, the commandment is 3 words. Then there is an addition, Ani Hashem. Hashem is the one who commanded you. Now, I tried to find a good translation to this, to English, and I couldn't. This is the best, but it's not it. You will see. You shall love your fellow. You have to know that in the English translations, even the Jewish one, not only just about the Christians, it's the translation is so not right. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, they translated, you shall love your neighbor the way you love yourself. And it's, I don't know where they took it from, but it's not what's written in the Torah. Neighbor is shchencha. Your neighbor is shachem. That's the word in Hebrew. It's not mentioned in the original. Look at it. It doesn't read ve'ahavta l'shchencha kamocha. So I don't know where they took the neighbor from. It says ve'ahavta l'reacha. Reacha is your friend or your fellow. Your fellow, it's very close. Your friend. Now the commandment is you shall love, and that will raise the first question. What is love? What is love? Many people will answer love is a strong feeling toward someone, something, right? Feelings. I want to doubt it, because if it's a feeling, how it's something that you command someone to have. If you have it, you have it. You do not need commandments. If you do not have it, and I command you, so what? You'll make believe that you feel, either you feel or not. So if God, the creator of the universe, the creator of the human being, the creator of the human nature, no one understands better what we could do and what not could do. If he commands us, it means that it's something that you could command someone that doesn't have it to have it. So what is it? It could not be feelings. So what is it? That's a question that we will leave now. Question number 2 is ve'ahavta l'reacha. Reacha translate to literal Hebrew, literal English, Re'acha is your friend. So I don't know yet what is love, but the commandment over here is love your friend. Why anyone should command me to love my friend? They're my friends, right? If they tell me love your enemy, fine, there is something to work on. But they're friends, they're friends. So this also needs understanding. But not just this. The most problematic here is word number 3. ואהבת לרעך כמוך. כמוך, as you love yourself. 2 things. First of all, there is a hidden assumption over here. That you love yourself. And the commandment is, you should love your friend the way you love yourself, not less. So there is even the standard of how much. So, obvious questions.
Do you love yourself?
Everyone loves themselves. Is it so simple?
Do you love yourself?
Me?
Do you love
You ask
yourself?
me?
That question that I'm asking.
The answer is yes.
I'm talking about in general. If some person
Yeah.
do not love themselves,
Exactly.
they don't have that self-esteem, and they
Exactly,
don't love
exactly. So, as I said, it's a hidden assumption that you love yourself. But the reality shows that it's not necessarily must be. I know a few people that have their real problem with themselves. So how a masochistic person love their friends? The same way they love themselves, right?
Maybe not.
So they
Maybe not.
hate them or hate them the same way they hate himself. Okay, this is the question. Those are the question, and now let's see what's the depth in them. And if we understand it, it will make a whole revolution in all our attitude toward love. The solution is, believe it or not, in the last 2 words. Ani Hashem. I'm God. So after this commandment, it says, I'm God. Who command you? We have 613 commandments in the Torah, and the vast majority of them doesn't have this ending. I'm God. Of course, obviously I'm God. God gave the entire Torah. Why in certain particular mitzvot, commandments, there is this addition? Ani Hashem. Okay, so I will start, again, the basic is here, but I'll start from the question that we had about the word kamocha. Kamocha, the way you, what?
You have problem with every single
Exactly.
one.
See?
Yeah. Not all.
So, as I mentioned before, there is a big crisis in the Western society of today with this. In relationships, most relationships are very short terms. In the beginning, when you're young, you fall in love,
Infatuation.
and you
is
fall,
not love.
and you fall in love, and then you wake up with a scar, and you go to the next relationship set, and you have another scar, and then at a certain age you said, you know what, forget about it, it's all nonsense, no such a thing. Let's be cynical and realistic, no love, is romanticism is for teenagers when they're not mature enough, forget about it. Very sad, but this is a situation in the Western society, and because it's not in 1 or 2 or 3 people, but it's a common phenomenon, it means that there is a problem with the entire attitude toward this notion called love. So the thing is that you have to love yourself. And then he said the following: anyone who do not love themselves could not love others. Now, when you ask why people do not love themselves, I'll give you the Torah perspective on it. The Torah taught us, in order to love yourself, you have to know who you are. And not too many people know who they are. They know some part of themselves, and this is a problem. So let's go to the beginning. In order to love yourself, you have to understand what human being is, what the Torah told us about this. So now I'll go back to the beginning of this presentation. When God created Adam, it says in the Torah, in the first chapter, I read the original, ויאמר אלוקים נעשה אדם בצלמנו כדמותנו. That was in the sixth day of the creation. After everything else was created, Adam was the last one. And God wants to create Adam. Now, those words and those notions are very difficult to understand philosophically. נעשה אדם בצלמנו כדמותנו. If you are aware of it, even in the translation, it speaks in plural. Na'aseh. Na'aseh is not one, but many. Who helped God to create Adam? What's Na'aseh? The next question, what's Betzalmeinu Kidmutenu? Here, Betzalmeinu Kidmutenu, they were translated in one word, our image. What is image? Image is something that we could understand in a physical world. Image, right? God is not physical. Because any physical entity is limited by time and space, and God is almighty, therefore God is not he is not physical. And if he's not physical, how you could understand Betzalmeinu Kidmutenu? It's not literal, but what is it? Betzalmeinu Kidmutenu. And again, Betzalmeinu has also plural, Betzalmeinu. Nu is plural. If it was one, it said Betzalmi, Kidmuti. Betzalmeinu Kidmutenu. So the Naase and Tzalmeinu Kidmutenu repeat again and again the plural. Okay, and why I want to create this Adam in my image? So he will rule everything that I created so far. Now, this verse from here to here speaks about the planning. Now come the actual action, creation, right? This is the next verse. And it's here it says, not in plural, but in singular. ויברא אלוהים את האדם בצלמו, בצלם אלוקים ברא אותו, זכר ונקבה ברא אותם, and it's switched from plural to singular. ויברא. So God created man in his image, right? In the image of God. He created him. Male and female he created them. Is him or them? Okay, I'm just following the question. Okay. So, the thing is the following. In Hebrew, you could not find plural for the word Adam. No, how do you say plural? Adam in plural in Hebrew. No such a word. No such a word. Some people told me Bnei Adam, but it's not true. Bnei Adam is the children of them. But he himself, there is no plural.
Human.
It's English.
Okay, that's English. But human is
human
one or few or both.
Is it plural? The question is no.
Adam is one.
It's one. Yeah.
But if you go on, let's see if I have it over here. Yeah. If you go on to chapter 5, you'll see זה ספר תולדות אדם. This is the account of whatever of Adam, תולדות אדם. ביום ברא אלוקים אדם, בדמות אלוקים עשה אותו, זכר ונקבה בראם, male and female created them, ויברך אותם ויקרא את שמם אדם. Their name is Adam.
Oh my God.
Their name is Adam.
So that's already
Yeah,
plural.
see? What?
So that's already plural.
Yeah.
ויקרא את שמם אדם. So what makes here the confusion is Adam, that was his name. The name of his wife was Chava, Eve, Chava, right? But both of them together called Adam. Even though he is called Adam, but the unit, male and female, was Adam. That's the name. The name of the unit is Adam. And now, let me show you something that you all know, but maybe you didn't analyze it ever this way. Here in the first chapter, it says in general that God created Adam. You go to the second chapter, you'll see that there are details of how, and it was a process. And the process was the following. Vayitzer Hashem Elokim, this is second chapter, the 7th verse. וייצר השם אלוקים את האדם עפר מן האדמה ויפח באפם נשמת חיים ויהי האדם לנפש חיה. So Adam was created from two elements. Dust from earth, that was the origin of his body. And to it, God blowed to him a soul of life. Soul, the neshama, the soul is not physical, and it's Hashem put it inside. God put it inside the physical, and this is the other. Here we're talking about Adam without Eve, without Chava yet, right? And be aware to the fact that Adam himself is a combination of two things. Not just two things, two opposite things. Physical and spiritual. And this is Adam. Okay, this is verse 7. Continue in the chapter, you'll get to verse Yudchet, verse 18. ויאמר השם אלוקים לא טוב היות האדם לבדו. אעשה לו עזר כנגדו. It's not good. It's not good that he's alone. I will make, how they translate it, עזר כנגדו over here?
A helper.
A helper. Helper. Okay.
That's not exactly.
Yeah.
Right, it's not the exact. Okay. Now,
That's what he did.
now again, let me ask more questions. I don't know if I'll have time to answer all the questions, but all those questions has to be asked. People, you know, our problem with the Tanakh that we learned when we are 4 years old. So 3, 4, 5, I don't know, in the kindergarten, there's stories, and then if you go up to a Jewish school, right? And this is a big problem. Why? Because it makes so big impression on us, and that's the way to remember it. We never grew up from it. So when you read those verses in the mature ability to analyze them, you'll find many, many questions. And all those questions should lead to deeper understanding. You'll see. So another question that I'm going to add to this. The Torah described before the 5th day of the creation that were before. And in those days, in the 3rd days, God created the plants. And the 4th day, 5th day, he created the birds and the fish. In the beginning of the 6th, before he created Adam, he created all the animals. Each one of the above were a male and a female. Pairs, male and a female. All of them. All of them. Now God, after everything and the experience and the precedents, wants to create Adam. And he didn't create a male and female. Why? In the beginning, he didn't. He created them alone, a combination of two things, a body and a soul, but then he looked at it and he said, not good. What do you mean not good? If it's not good, how come you did it? And you have a precedent of male and female. And you didn't make him or created him male and female for a reason probably. And now you look at it and say, no, it's not good. Let's create male and female over here. So do you understand that there is why? Why?
I'm confused.
Okay, that's good.
The first chapter you said he created male, Adam, which you said unity, woman and man.
Oh, okay.
And the second here you said he created man alone.
Right.
Okay, so now, okay, soul and body. But what happened to the first chapter, the first Genesis, when you said first, there's only male and female. You said it's unity.
Yeah,
I don't see the unity here.
I understand. The answer is, let's take a good example from Windows
Okay.
and computer, right? You open a computer. What do you say? First,
Screen.
you see the screen, and you have the main window,
Okay.
main screen, right? You have icons, right? You click on them, You click on one, and you got the details, right? That's the way the Tanakh was written. The first verse includes everything. בראשית ברא אלוקים את השמיים ואת הארץ. Everything is included in this verse. Now the next verse goes, והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו, and the הארץ was mixed up.
Right.
And it goes now, it's click on, in the icon called Aretz, and now I'll explain to you what there is in the Aretz. Same way the entire Tanakh built. So the first chapter describes what Hashem created in the 6th day of the creation, without going to details. That's like a headline. So this is the headline. He created a human being, which is a man and a lady, right? Later on, you clicked on it, that chapter, the second chapter, and then describe the process. But it was a process. It's true, at the end, it was a male and a female, but I'm going now through the steps, okay? So God created Adam the way it is, body and the soul, and he said, not good, not good. But even after that, with all the questions that we asked, there is another problem. Not good, so create a female. Right? Look how the Torah describes it. After God says it's not good, what did he do? ויפל השם אלוקים תרדמה על האדם וישן, ויקח אחת מצלותיו ויסגור בשר תחתימה. He didn't create a female. What he did, he put Adam into
A deep sleep.
anesthesia. He was the first one who got anesthesia.
Yeah, that's correct.
He put him asleep. And he made an operation. And he separated Chava from his own body of the dust from earth that he was creating the body of Adam. He didn't create a female by itself. But it was not, the precedent was not like this. When God created a dog, he created a he-dog and a she-dog. He didn't took the she-dog from the he-dog.
Right.
And etc. with all of the rest.
She was his
But not here. What?
She was his Afrashat Chala.
I don't know, I could call it this way. But anyways, I'm just
Something
emphasizing.
from something.
Yeah, but I'm emphasizing this, that he didn't create the female, but he took the female from the male. Okay? ויבן השם אלוקים את הצלה אשר לקח מן האדם לאישה. צלה means not necessarily rib, but a side, like side, צלעות המשכן, side. Okay. So he built it לאישה, to a lady, והביאה אל האדם. And Adam was aware of this. ויאמר אדם, זאת הפעם עצם העצמי ובשר מבשרי, she took him from my own bones and blood and flesh. לזאת יקרא אישה, and in Hebrew, לזאת יקרא אישה כי מאיש לוקחה זאת. Why it's called אישה? Because it's come from the ish. So only in Hebrew, those words are coming from each other, the words, isha and ish. Okay. Fine, so what's going on over here? Don't forget, we want to talk about love at the end, but we asked many questions. Yeah, so.
Maybe Hashem thought, I created separate male and female. Let's try put them together and see how it is.
And then it was like, no, this is a bad idea.
Yeah, and then he said,
Let's
no.
undo that.
And then Adam goes to him and says, Hashem, what's going on? You did everybody in male and female, what about me?
But that goes back to the love thing, because then they have
Yeah,
companionship.
okay,
and
now
that's-
let's see.
Yeah, let's see, Rabbi. Yes.
Okay. It will be a series, I'm telling you. I cannot finish it in one show. It will be a series. Let's start to deal with the questions. First of all, let's go to the verse that described the creation of Adam himself. Adam was created dust from earth and a soul, right? Actually, in Kabbalah books, it says that this is the first shidduch. The first shidduch is the shidduch of the body and the soul.
Could you just translate shidduch?
The first match.
Matchmaking.
Matchmaker.
Yeah,
Okay, the first matching is the matching of the body and the soul. And there is a big problem over here. Why? Because the body and the soul are physical and spiritual, and physical and spiritual are not a natural partners, to say it the least. They are actually the most opposites entities, body and soul. And let's put it this way. Everything that interested the body, not it interested the soul at all, and vice versa. So when God created Adam, he combined two opposite entities, tied them together, throw them to this world and said,
Good luck.
get along. Get along. Really, get along. I always say that when he did this, he created the best job for psychologists and psychiatrists. Because the body and the soul are so opposite. Anything that interested the body is not interested the soul, and many times it goes against what's the essence of the soul. So there is no way to be happy. If you make your body happy, your neshama will be sad. And you'll be very spiritual, and the body will be upset, right? So to manage, first of all, to realize that you have body and soul, it's a big thing. And not too many people knows about it. Everyone knows that they have a body. Not too many people heard about the concept called soul. And even if they heard, they have no clue what is this and how to relate to it and how to run it or to manage it. And of course not with harmony with the body. And this is the major problem. This is the major problem. So the first thing is to realize that you are not just a body. You are a body and a soul, and actually you're a soul inside the body. The second step is to understand that there are not neutral partners. And this is your job in your life, to do harmony between them. And if you succeeded to do this, you'll be happy and you'll love yourself. Remember we talked about those who do not like themselves?
Right.
Because they torn it from inside. They do things, and of course there is a reason why they do it, and they think that will make them happy, but they find themselves empty in the good case, very uncomfortable in their personality in the worst case. It's not hard. It's not easy to. It's very hard to manage those two. And actually, there is no way to do it right without getting instructions from the manufacturer, from the creator, because who could give you help? You know, all the problems, all the arguments that we have in philosophy, between philosophers, is just because of this thing. Because philosophy is trying to deal with what's right, what's wrong. What's the best way, what's the right lifestyle. And there are so many arguments. No one agrees with anyone. People sometimes do not agree with themselves. I mean, philosophers. There's so much room for doubt, everything that you will say. You know, you think so, but there is a problem here and there. You do not know. You do not know. Philosophy, and in a way psychology also, because psychology deals with the spiritual part and the impact of the physical. But philosophy for sure is, in all the areas in science, the area that the big loser is philosophy. No agreement about anything. No agreement. Anything, any philosopher that will say something, it will be easy to find many others that they say you're completely off. Not true. So we didn't get to all the questions, the big questions, and they are very major questions. What's the purpose of life? What's the purpose? What's reality? All the questions that the philosopher has today, all those questions asked 2,000 years ago, 300,000 years ago, same questions. So the questions are good, no answers. No absolute answer that anyone could agree. There's no area in science that it's like this. And this is the main thing, because as the intelligent creature, we want to know what's right, what's wrong, and we do not know. We do not know. So we need instructions. we need God to tell us what's right and what's wrong. We could not figure it by ourselves, and the fact is that there are arguments. So that would, here Judaism entered to the picture. And this is actually the major argument of Judaism. God, who created the heaven and earth, the universe, he is the one who gave us the Ten Commandments, he gave us the Torah, and in the Torah, he gave us Torah, the meaning of the word Torah are instructions, directions, what's right, what's wrong. So he's saying, you know what? You do not know. No one knows, but we know. How do we know? Not because we're smart more than the other. Not just because we're smart. It's not a matter of being smart or not. We got the information from the Creator itself. So this is it. Now, how come God took those two parts, body and soul, and put them together? Because he wanted to create a creature in his image. The meaning of his image is not physical image. There is a similarity between us and God. And what is the similarity? And what makes human being exclusive? When God created everything, he created creatures. When God created human being, he created creator. He created us as creators. This is the meaning to be in his image. What we have to create? Everything is done. Well, what left to create? Tell me. Yourself. You have to create yourself. He gave you the ingredients, the body and the soul. Now, go ahead. Create yourself. And this is the deep notion in Jewish philosophy called free will. Free will. You yourself is actually a combination of three things. I know every time I'm trying to explain this, I'm causing more confusion than clarification. A human being, I mean, if you want to ask, who am I? In this country, United States of America, one of the most popular things is surveys. They ask you, what do you think, what do people think, right? So because it's very important, someone once decided to make a survey about what is, a research actually, what is the most common word that human beings use in telephone calls, in conversation. What is the word that repeats itself again and again and again in every conversation? I. I. Ani. I. I. So when I say I mean me. What is it? What is me? And let me show you how it's not easy to answer this question. You ask a kid, who are you? You will give his name, okay, her name. But who are you? So as a kid, it's good to answer me, you see? This is me. So meaning me is my body. Because that's what she knows. When we're young, that's what we identify ourselves with. My body. But could not be true. Why? Because listen to what we said about my body. It's my body. Same way I'm talking about my car, or my house, my jacket. So there's no identification between me and my car. It's a possession that I'm the owner, right? So the same way when I say my body, it means that the body is a possession that has an owner, and the owner is me. So who is the me? So I'm not my body. Not just not my leg, even not my heart, even not my brain. Those are possessions. So who's the owner? So here people could say, you know what, maybe my personality. But what personality? So you want to use a religion notions, call it neshama, soul. Me is my soul. So the body is a possession of my soul. But it easily will be proven that it's not true. My soul is also my soul. And we say it, you know, in the beginning of the day, in the Siddur, when you pray, you say, you relate to the neshama. You say, Elokai neshama shenatata bi tehorai. God, the soul that you gave in me is pure. But you use the word that you gave in me. Elokai neshama shenatata bi, you gave in me. So the neshama is also something that was given to me. So who am I? I'm not my body, I'm not my soul. I got lost. Who am I? So here's the secret of the I. In Hebrew, I is ani. Ani. Ani is a word combined from 3 letters. Aleph, Nun, and Yud, in this order. This ani is not clear. You do not know what is it. You cannot pinpoint it. What is this ani? If you take those 3 letters and change the order, put first the Aleph, then the Yud, then the Nun, you'll get another word in Hebrew, which is ayin.
No.
Ayin is nothing. Ayin, in,
Have nothing.
in, nothing. So it means that you could not know what is this I is. For you, it's ayin. You do not know what is it. So what is it? What is it? Let me reveal to you the secret. The I is the point that connects the body and the soul. It's not the body, it's not the soul. But because God put the soul in the body, from now there are not a body by itself and a soul by itself, but the combination of both. That will make or create a third point, which is the I. Now, here's the problem. My body, and let me connect this to the notion of the free will. Only human being is a free willer. Only. This is exclusive to a human being. No other element in the universe is a free willer. There are the laws of nature. The laws of nature are the dictators of how everything will behave. They have no conscious or decide, I could decide, let me think about it. No element in the universe could say, let me think about it. They have to do whatever the laws of nature force them to do. They're robots. The same way we have physical robots, there are spiritual robots. They also have no free will. They have to work according to the laws of the spiritual entities. There are spiritual robots, physical robots. Human being is a combination of those 2 robots. Our body is like the body of an animal, which is a physical robot. The laws of nature, you're obligated to the laws of nature in your physical needs or for the physical entity. The spiritual entity also has rules. It's a spiritual robot. But when you put them together, you got this amazing creature called human being. And here's a free will. Let me show you. A hungry lion goes in the jungle, has no free will not to just catch a goat and eat it. That's the laws of nature, right? That's the way it works. A human lion, a human hungry human being could go around very hungry, not starving to death, but hungry, and has some dilemma. I could get food, but in order to do that, I have to be a stealer. It's not mine. I have no money on me. I could go wait until I get home and then I'll have my own food, but I'm hungry now. So the body says, come on, get it, eat. Someone, annoying voice inside said, come on, you're not going to be a stealer for that. You're just a little bit hungry, come on. You're selling all your values. Who's talking? Who's talking? The other voice inside you. You know, there's a problem with this insider voice, because if someone will tell you, some human being will tell you, listen, you're not behaving right about something that you did wrong, and you know that you did wrong, the automatic almost reaction is, don't tell me what to do. You're so perfect. When you know that in this case, he's right and you're wrong. But you're pushing easily every criticism on yourself, right? You could push everyone, but not this inner voice. This inner voice, you cannot just tell him, go away. If you tell him during the day, it will come to you, you know when? 1 minute before you fall asleep. This voice will counter you. Come on, you fell again. It's time for you to take yourself in your hands. Start to really run your life. Be good. You cannot just, and this is very bothering this voice. This voice will make you restless. This voice is the voice of the soul. And the soul is part of you. You cannot push them away. It's you. So we are very problematic creatures. And that's why I said psychologists and psychiatrists could make a lot of money on us. because there are two voices in us. We have two wants. I want, meaning the body talking, I want, and I don't care about anything, just what I want. And there is another want. The one to do right, the one to do good, the one to look at the big picture. And there's two, those two is you. And this is your job. This is the meaning to be creator. To be creator, create yourself. Be aware of those two. Don't just ignore one of them. Be aware of them, and you have to know that they have no choice but to relate to both of them and run your life according. If you'll do this, you'll be happy. If you will ignore one, you will not be happy. I don't need all the psychologists or all the psychiatrists to tell me what's wrong with people. I know what's wrong with people. When people just ignore a 50% at least of themselves, they could not be happy. And no other solutions, but sometimes psychologists are doing so much damage. I heard once, many years ago, in the radio show, late night radio show, in Israel, they used to have, in the radio, they bring a psychiatrist or a psychologist to the studio, and people will call, and they will solve their dreams and their problems. So I was once a witness of a very disturbing conversation between a professional psychologist to a person. And they said at the beginning, we are not going to give opinion about moral, but it's so not true. So one person called and said, I'm married. Our lives are very good. Me and my wife getting along together, everything is fine, but I have something that's bothering me. I have another lady. My wife do not know about it. And she is very happy, and we are very happy, but it's eating me from inside. I don't know what to do. I feel that I'm cheating, that I'm lying. So the tendency was, the attitude of the psychologist, you have to be happy. You could not eat yourself. So, as long as your wife do not know about it, it's okay. It's okay. And if you feel that it's not okay, you have to know that there are many ideas, old-fashioned ideas, that when you were a kid was installed in you. And if they make you miserable now, you have to get rid of them. So tell yourself it's okay to do it. It's okay. It's okay. Repeat it. It's okay. Convince yourself that it's okay. Then you'll be happy man again. As long as your wife will not know about it. So you have to continue to keep the secret. But your problem is not her, it's you. But you're suffering. You cannot suffer. This world is not about suffering. It's about to be happy. So it's very important to make you happy. So get rid of these old-fashioned ideas. So they find, and I'm not saying that it's typical, but the fact that it could be such an attitude, and it's not that rare, not just in this particular issue, It shows that they're trying to fix when they're ignoring the facts that a person has a conscience, has a neshama. They try to shut it down. I said it once, and I think it's connected to, you know, big philosophers realize the problem that the fact that we as our combination of a body and soul create. Realize this. In the West and in the East, body and soul are not a common natural partners, and they are causing problems in your life. So it's like a chariot that has to go, but it has two horses, but the two horses are not going here in the front, one going to this way, one going this way, so the chariot just stuck. So what you have to do, try to take this horse and convince him to go here, and this one to go here, and let them work together. But they refuse, they're very stubborn, right? So after they realize the problem, this is the body and the soul, right? They said, we have to fix it. How are we going to do this? It's hard to make them go together, and we do not know how to really convince them. So let's do the following. We have two horses over here, but we're not going anywhere. We're stuck. So let's just get rid of one. So in the West, in the East, let's start from the East. They shoot one of the horses, kill them, and say, use only one. Who is a perfect person, holy person in the East? The one who goes away from society. Take the physical. They said physicality is the enemy of spirituality, and the main thing is spirituality. So let's diminish, almost destroy completely the physical. Be spiritual completely, right? That was their way to so. And in a way, yeah, it's less disturbing, but we have one source dead, one horse dead. In the West, they did the same thing, just the opposite. What are you talking about? Spirituality, nonsense, no one could prove this. Fun, have fun, physical fun, forget about moral. It's flexible, change them the way it will fit your ideas. So they killed the other horse, and now everyone is happy. Right? The chariot could move. In the East, they go spirituality very high up. In the West, going physical very much down. And they're both wrong. You cannot do that. The human being is a combination of both. And here comes the Judaism. Judaism said, don't kill anyone. Don't kill anyone. You have to make them work together. It's a hard job. And you know, every human being has different level of stubbornness in the horses. Therefore, everyone is unique. It's the same job. I mean, to fulfill the instruction, the 613, but some of them are easy for one person, some of them are hard for, meaning it depends. Therefore, everyone has job, has what to do, has a project. Everyone is a whole world. And this is the way we have to teach ourselves to live in harmony with those two opposites forces, physical and spiritual. So that was the first idea.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. That was the first idea. That was the first step of the creation. So the first step is already complicated. Body and a soul, they are two opposites, right? But then, God looked at what he did over here and said, not good. Not good, meaning it's not complicated enough. Let me even make it more complicated. It's not good. So what are we going to do? He took the body and separated the two, her body and his body. The Kabbalah says that he took the neshama. It was only one neshama, this one. And he separated also the two. The male, he put in the male, the female he gave to the female. And now we have 4 elements in the system. 2 is not enough complicated. 4.
We double complicated.
And now look how life is complicated and what's challenging are they. When we first came to this world, we are not married, in most cases.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
male is born alone and female is born alone. And it takes few years, let's say 20, until they feel that they need to get married. What do you have to do in this 20 years? Then they have to learn that life is all about harmony. First harmony is between the body and the soul. For this you have 20 years to work on it. So he has to work on it, she has to work on it. After you try to more or less managing your body and the soul, meaning do not aware of both, aware of the opposites and make the harmony, then you should understand that it's not enough. Because each one of you, he or she, after all the work with the body and the soul, is only half. It's only half. And that's why God created Adam and Chava in the beginning one. He didn't create a male and a female. He created an entity, which is the body and the soul. Then he separates from it. But the separation is not a separation in order to stay separated, but it's a separation that God made in order for us to unify it. But it's not easy. Because, again, you have to find your partner and make sure that you and him or you and her knows about the secret of body and the soul and the harmony, work on it to a certain level, and be willing to continue the project when you are married. And only then you could fulfill your potential. Only then. And this is the entire reason that we are here in the world. In order to complete, God created us as a potential that need to be actualized. So the actualization is up to us, and in a way, because some people, you could find your meaning in life, even if chas v'shalom, you never got married. You still have a job between your body and your soul. But there is a mitzvah in the Torah to build a house, not just for the next generation to be, but for yourself, for your own complete. You need to find a healthy relationship. And the basic is that both partners knows what we're doing. Knows about the secret that I told you today, about the body and the soul and the harmony between then the 4 parts. His soul, her soul, his body, her body. It should be unified. With every action that you do in your life, never isolated it or make it separate from the big picture. Every physical thing has to have a spiritual meaning. Every. Because if not, you live only partial life. And that actually the entire Torah, the entire mitzvot is this. I said on different occasions that mitzvot in Hebrew are team, tzevet. The word tzevet, tzadik, vav, vav, taf, tzevet is a team. And there are 2 teams over here, the body and the soul, team number 1, the commander and me, team number 2. And when I connect everything together, I will find a unification, and the implication of this will be happiness and love yourself. After all of this, you could understand the mitzvah to love others. How could you command me to love someone? If I had the feelings, I don't need commandment. If I don't, how do I work on it? So love is not feeling. Love is understanding that the mission is to unify. Unified what? The body and the soul. Now, when I see someone in the street, someone that I never met before, you know what I see? I see what I know about me. If I see me as a body, when I go in the street, I see bodies. If I know that I'm a soul and a body, when I meet someone that I never met, I see a soul and a body. When the mission is to unify, I need to know this in order to respect and to love and to command. And if I do not have those things, because I never met this person in my life, but I have to work on it. How? By unifying. So if we both sharing the same values, the same truth of unifying everything, me, my body and my soul, me and the creator, the world, the creation and the creator, I will find something in common, and the more we will share it, talk about it, we'll love each other. Because love is the secret of love is not feeling, it's also feeling, but it's not. The basic of love is giving. You know, many people are not givers. Most of the people in the world are takers. I'm not saying receivers, takers. Meaning, when I look at myself as a physical entity, the major character, the major thing, the major tendency, the essence of physical is the fact that it's limited by time and space. That caused a lack. You always feel that you're missing something. It's a whole big thing. So why? You know what? Let's do it in chapter 2. Why physical or material need a form or a frame? The form is the completion of the material. And therefore, the physical, the material, always looking for completion. And when you look at it not in the right place, you could get disorder. Let's say, you know, people who could not control their habit to eat, are eating. And this is one example, right? They're looking for something. It's not usually a problem with the physical. It's a psychological thing, right? They're looking for something. And the thing is that you could never fulfill your lack if you do not know what caused it and what needs to be, what you really need. Let's take a valid, legitimate, built-in the system, the physical system things. You need to eat. In order to survive. Right? You like to put fuel in the machine, in the car. You need it. But when you feel that you're lacking something, you do not know what and how much, you just take much more than you really need. And it's not just physical needs, it's not just eating, drinking, it's also attention, it's also what's called psychological disorders, right? Like jealousy, like you always feel that you need this and this and this and this. So a physical element need a frame, need a form. The form is not physical. The form is the meaning. The meaning is not physical. And that's a whole Torah by itself, to understand how to put or actualize the potential that in the physical within the right direction and meaning. You could not know it. You could not know it by yourself. You need instructions. And these are the instructions that we have in the Torah. So when we talk about love is giving. Love is giving. People do not give. If I see myself as a physical entity, I don't know how to give. I know only how to take. So the entire world around me is a big supermarket that I need to take in order to feel good about myself, right? So I'm a taker. When I'll give, you know, you could say it's not true. Some people are giving, right? most of the givers are not givers. When I give in order to get, what do you mean in order? I have no problem to give because I know. I do it as a business. I'll give a little in order to get a lot. Even to take a thing, but different thing, right? It's good, it's business. So when I give in order to take, to get, I'm not a giver. I'm a sophisticated taker.
Exchanger. You're exchanger.
Like when you go
Yeah,
when
but
you
the bottom
give
line, I'm a
money.
taker. I'm a taker. Who could give? Who could really give? Only the soul. The body do not know how to give. The body is material. Material is also lack, right? So everything is taking. And even if you give in order to take. So when you understand yourself as a physical, as a body only, you are a complete taker. There is an ability, a real ability to give, really give. It's hard to give in order to give without expecting anything in return. It could not come from the body. Could not. The body do not know how to do it. Only the soul. Only the soul. So love is an action or operation of the soul. The soul could give in order to give. Only the soul. And this is the base of love. The base of real love is to give. Even when you do not feel so, just give. Don't feel it. You will feel it later. The feelings will come later. The more you give, the more you feel. People think mistakenly that I give present to the one I care about. I love someone, I give them present, right? It's just the opposite. The more you give, the more you love. You know why? Because when you give, you share yourself. And because you're selfish, you love yourself. Right? When you give, you love what did you give? Meaning the extension of yourself. So the more you give, the more you love.
Love your favorite, you love yourself.
Basically, this is the recipe of love, of real love. Real love is unconditional giving. Unconditional giving. And it's possible only when you're aware that you have part in you that rich enough that not need to get. You know, when I give in order to get, why I have this in order to get? Why I need to get? Because I'm poor. I'm missing. Only when I'm rich, I have no problem to give. Don't return, take, be happy. I'm happy when you're happy. Forget, don't even think about giving me back. I don't need it. I'm rich, and the more I give, I become richer. So this is an amazing thing. In physical, you have no such a thing. If you give something, the thing that you give is missing from you. But in the spiritual, when you give, the more you give, you feel even more full, more complete. You could give and give and give and give, right? Let's say, the last thing. Let's say I'm a billionaire. I have a lot of money, right? And I met you tonight and I say, you know what, you're very nice people. I want you to remember me for the rest of your life. So at the end, write down on a little paper, make the calculation, I trust you, how much money you need in order to make you happy. Solve all your problems. You know, you need to finish the mortgage, debts, whatever, right? And I have unlimited budget, so don't even think twice. Just write any number, right? And let's say I will get crazy numbers at the end, okay? No problem. Tomorrow morning, 9 p.m., 9 a.m., it will be in your bank account, right? So I give you. But because money is physical, any dollar that I'll give you will be missing from my account. Even though I'm a billionaire, I don't care. But you cannot, you know, pour from a bottle to a cup and the drop will stay in the bottle. If it's here, it's not there. This is in any physical thing, but not in spiritual. Let's say I knows a lot about spiritual things, not the secret of, let's say, the secret of Coca-Cola. This is not the secret itself. But if I share it with you, I'm going to lose because you're going to open a company and make a competition to me. But if I give you something that's not physical, a knowledge that's not physical, spiritual knowledge, I could give you, you will get tremendous present,
Knowledge.
a lot of that you didn't have before, and I didn't miss anything. The thing that I gave you is not missing from me. If so, that just the opposite. The more I teach it, I make myself more aware of it, more understand of it. So it's a win-win. This could be done only in spiritual, not in physical. And this is the secret of love. Give. Don't think you're losing. You're not losing anything. The more you give, you become more richer, and then you'll love everything around you. Everyone and everything around you. So this is it. There is much more. But for now, let's start.
Now let's digest this.
Yes, let's digest it.
Homework.